Previously on Back to the Story.
So you draw the circle, focusing on the grove. What you remember of it, what it looked like, what it smelled like, the warmth, the people, the animals, the trees. Ezekiel, what do you think you would like to come as? Guardian tree or a stable stone? Acorns grow and fall along the ground as little squirrels and birds run up to them, carrying them off, gnawing on them. Howdy.
Hello.
Hello.
Howdy.
Hello.
Hello?
Don't like that one. I don't want to meet her.
Oh.
No, I'm gonna... Whatever character you have that one for, I want to skip. No veto.
I was,
You don't like me?
Ooh, that activates my fight or flight. Alright, let's just... Where are we?
Alright, you ready? Wonderful. 3, 2, 1, coming back to the story as the ritual is complete, leaving the massive oak, Ezekiel's tree, in its space. One by one, the individuals that came during this ritual begin to fade out and rejoin the grove, leaving you all there with just a few others. What do you do?
I'm going to pick up one of the acorns that fell and hold on to that.
Going to not look at the chat and instead walk over to Orizana.
You approach Orizana, who is looking much this year, and some changes have been good to her. She's healthy. She smiles. Hello.
I'm sorry we didn't come back with better news.
He's home now. Anyway. This is as good a place as any these days.
I will offer her a hug if she's alright with that.
She'll hug. Return it.
A lot's happened.
I'm going to come up behind Vesper.
Yes, a lot. Things are... More have joined the grove. Getting away from the cities. People are desperate, starving, and the serpent and the disease and the rivers is... But the water is clean here. We have food and something in protection.
Did you say serpent?
And she kind of gestures towards the sky. You can see it at night, the serpent from the other day. It brought disease, poison, pestilence. The foods have spoiled. Fevers are spreading through the cities. People are sick, starving.
When did this start?
Last night. There was a loud noise and the sky opened up. Stars shifted green in a constellation of a snake. Foods spoiled in a matter of hours. Rivers fouled, acrid. Insects swarmed. But the guardians are keeping it all at bay. The druids keep the water clean here. That's why we've had so many more additions who follow us to the grove, fleeing the cities, heading into the hills and the forest.
Well, I'm glad you're safe here.
Safe enough. I'm learning to protect myself. And she kind of taps the bow that's on her back. You all look if you don't mind me saying it, tired. Need some rest, food. We don't have a wealth of it, but we have enough. Water, place to rest.
I think we've got rations. I'm not going to take food out of the mouths of anyone who needs it more.
I'm glad you brought him back. In whatever way you could. The Grove will keep his memory.
I hope he's very glad to be back.
I would think he would be.
I'm glad to see you doing well here.
I have a place, yeah. It feels like home now. I have you to thank for giving me a home and a second chance. So, thank you.
You made the home for yourself. We just helped show the way.
Don't bullshit me, Vesper.
It was your journey, though.
Well,
I'm glad we could help.
we all have one. I have some gathering to do. You have to go with the wardens on the outskirts. How long are you staying?
Not long, I think. Unfortunately, we have a lot that we have to get done.
Of course. Well, take care of yourselves. Especially at night. It's not safe. Even out here. And she gives you each a hug, one by one. Thank you again. And she leaves.
Well, it's good to it's good to see she's doing well.
Yeah. At least, it kind of helps to know that we've had at least some good effect on the world.
Especially all the ill.
Yeah, the whole serpent thing.
Worries.
Think we should talk to Mother Willow?
I think so.
How much do we tell her?
That it's probably going to get worse before it gets better.
You know her better than I do, but I trust her with this. It would give her a better ability to prepare if she knows what's going on. You can't fight an enemy you don't know.
Yeah. And I imagine there are going to be more people coming here. The way things are going. So, I guess we go to talk to Mother Willow.
She's just a few feet from you still after completing the ritual.
We pivot and press A on Mother Willow.
Oh my god, okay. You pivot and press A, and the dialogue options open up. What do you say? Thank you for joining in on the ritual. It's good to have him back, one way or the other.
We're glad that we were able to bring something back. We've been meaning to for some time, but just haven't had the opportunity to get here.
Of course. What happened?
Oh. Well, that's kind of a long story, but I think it kind of ties into what we want to talk to you about anyways. Do you have a moment?
Probably need more than a moment.
Yeah.
For this, yes. And she gestures for you to follow her nearby back into the largest central moonlight circle. The 10, 12-foot or so stone columns, rough cut, with the center, taller one in the center. Depictions of the moons and planets and beasts and stars upon each of them. All right. What do you have for me?
Ready, strap in.
And I believe we tell her all of the things, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You guys don't have to like role play out the entire
Right.
story, but like give me bullet points. What do you go over with her?
I think we probably start with chronological might be best. So probably start with the whole Falnor situation. I think during that, Ellery is hesitant at certain points, but tries to be as honest as possible.
And then kind of leading into why we had to go, like the specifics, more detail around our escape specifically, and why it had to be the way it was.
So you touch on negotiating with Braun, how it went wrong, the escape. Do you touch anything on like Harbingers or the gate, any of that stuff?
Yeah, so I think because all of this ties into our escape, I guess we introduce her to Felix and explain how we met him. And
for the record, I assumed Felix went into the orb when you all got there, and did not participate in any of the... He is likely not there unless you specifically ask him to come out.
We tell her about Felix and meeting him and all of the things that we've learned because of meeting him. What we've learned about Narasine and Blackstar and the Harbingers.
Probably what we learned from the Sphinxes from Tasha, and what we learned from Blackstar, which ties into how we knew about Ezekiel.
And what do you know of the Harbingers? Their origins?
They were druids once.
That's correct. There were 11 of them. She begins to walk in a circle, passing by each of you, brushing her hand on each of the stones. 10 and a leader. And she stops with the 11th in the center, stone column. There are other circles of stars. Black Star wasn't the only one. Narasine wasn't the only one. They were the last. These symbols, their names in Druidic. Inia, Tessera, Pinta, Exie, Deca, Dodeca, Dia, Tribus, Epta, Octa, Inteca. A slur of Druidic syllables. You're not quite clear when one ends and the other one begins, as she looks to each of the columns. How much do you tell her of your involvement with the Harbingers? Your relationship? How much do you tell her about what your goals are concerning the Divine Gate?
I feel like nothing with the Divine Gate. I don't know that that's a smart thing to let her know about. When
my question is, do we give out enough that she could, like, do the equivalent of insight check us, or are you extra careful not to say anything that might tip her off?
Oh, I'm not talking. I have a fucking 8 charisma.
So she, as we kind of zoom back into this part of the conversation, she goes over some of the things you already know. That there was a druid circle of stars. There were many of them, and one of these circles stood against the gate, and were the last grove, the last circle, standing against it, with the leader, Narasine, or Nia, performing a ritual, splitting them into paradoxes, creating Black Star and supposedly what remains of Narasine, and the rest of the druids becoming the Harbingers. The story's a little different about reincarnation. Talks more about nature of it, becoming the beast and the plants and the rivers. But it's a story you're familiar with from talking to Felix and Tasha and others, and Mr. Walker?
I think as she's kind of walking around this circle and talking about these things, anytime that she has her back turned to us, I kind of glance at the others and I'm like gesturing, like, do we tell her? How much do we say?
I don't know.
It was
Theoretically,
a
you could use me as a telephone if you're that
True.
desperate.
Felix?
At least between, oh no, the only ones with things on because Pino's dead are Amson and Ball. Are the only ones that could do that. But
I thought I had the dagger.
no, not. Or yes, no, the
Yeah.
dagger is active. So Vesper. So everyone but Ellery.
Great. I'll touch her with the dagger. I'll kind of. Actually, no, because I can't take it out of my sheath. That would look weird. So never mind.
You pull
No,
out your
I
dagger
don't.
to
I
stab
don't.
her.
I don't do this.
It was a Saint Ma who became the anchor to the divine gate. This form permeating this world. Nature. Plants, the trees, the animals, the wind, the rivers, the stone. Guardians sprung up at these waystones to protect the gate. And now they fall. 2 have already. Girls across the Nor are banding together to protect the last ones, to find who seeks to destroy them, to keep this world separate, safe from the wars of gods.
If something were to go wrong and the gate were to fall, what would happen to a Saint Ma?
Saint Ma doesn't exist in the way the other gods do. Their force has been spread out, thinner and weaker in some ways, but permeated in everything. All life on this world is touched by Saint Ma. In some ways he will be freed. But the cataclysmic war and wars that would follow, how many would survive? Already the undead wander the woods, the cities and the hills, and the food spoil and people starve, and they lash at one another. Wars for resources have begun. People scramble from the cities into the hills, or seek refuge in our grove or Moonlit, desperate.
It's going to get worse before it gets better.
I have to stop this. The keepers of the circles are talking to one another, trying to find a way to protect the anchors that still exist, to maybe redeem those that have been lost. It will be hard days. No, you help.
What happens if the gate remains is worse than what happens if the gate falls?
The gate has remained for a long time. Not in perfection. People still suffer. But it is not comparable to the wars that will occur. The collateral damage when gods fight will be vast. The earth will crack open. The lands will flood. The forest will burn. The mountains will crumble. I cannot see a possibility where the gate remaining could be worse than that. I'm not sure what this brawn and others told you down there. Their perspectives.
Oh no, it's not them. It's not their perspective that I'm concerned with.
Whose then, Ellery? Whose perspective? She takes a step or two towards you.
Trying to figure out my wording for how I would answer this the way that she's asked it. The perspective of everyone, and I mean everyone, who would cease to exist if Narasine gets her way. Because what we've learned is that her aim is not simply to bring down the gate, but to bring about the end of this existence.
And Ellery, what must she do first to accomplish this? What is her first step? Tell me. You all are experienced, you are not fools. What does Narasine wish to do first to accomplish this? What is it that every grove across this Nor fights to stop, to keep? She cannot do these things if the gate remains.
I will look at Ellery and and the others and give kind of a nod and go, but if the gate remains, she cannot die. Not truly. The only way to truly stop her is to end the paradox between her and Blackstar.
I'm concerned with what you are saying to me. We come to this grove and speak these words. And if you fail, you risk everything. Everything you are afraid of. If you fail, it all happens still. Nor cracks open, the mountains crumble, the land floods. And if you fail, everything else ends with it. Now tell me, who among us would suggest that is a wise decision? Who would stand against this grove and every other? The fog that had kind of died down for y'all to enter in this place raises back up like a wall. You hear vines kind of growing and weaving together, forming fences and tangling underbrush in this place.
It's a hypothetical. Just what we've learned.
You all seem to have considered it.
We've had time to think.
And your decision?
Mother Willow, I don't wish to stand against this grove. I don't wish to see the gate fall. I know how much destruction that would bring to the world. But what I want is for the world to continue.
Our decision is whatever saves the most lives, and if there's a way we can do this without bringing Cataclysm to the north, then that is the best option, but we're just doing whatever we can.
But what? If that's what it takes, you will sacrifice countless lives. Groves, these people. You would see this grove burn, Ezekiel's tree ablaze. If that's what it takes to accomplish what? Ezekiel carried with him a star map, a stone, a remnant of a star grove. I don't know what it meant. It was given to him by his guardian. But he was seeking to find a path. With danger and destruction to either side. difficult decisions. That is what, and she gestures to the stones, that is what that grove did. They sought their own path. And they are reincarnated when they die, to come again. Some to keep the gate, realizing their mistakes, and others to attempt to tear it down, to bring about that destruction. Fate is a malleable thing. We make choices in the path to our own destiny. Inia tessera etta octo. They made their choices and they made their path. I know mine. I know which side of the gate I stand on. And I will die to defend it, if I must. You will need to make your choices as well.
While we think, can I, looking at the stones around us and the names that I can't quite read, is there a way I could kind of, I don't know if I want to use my last ethos point, but a way that I can kind of sense which one the death ethos belonged to? Kind of introspecting on that a little.
Give me like an insight check.
Okay. I'm going to use my inspiration for this. Because I can. Is a 17.
You and Mother Willow gives you the time to think. She moves and shifts and looks to each one of you, and to the stones and to the trees surrounding, letting you think. And Vesper, in your introspection or searching, you feel something. A similar presence, though minute. And you look upon the columns, their different symbols, and these runes and glyphs you can't read. Different depictions of the moon, new and waxing and full and waning. Plants in different stages of growth, beast as well, stars. Each column has a different number of stars depicted. You can feel there's a presence, one of them here, that holds ethos in the same way you hold ethos. You can sense it, not quite visually, but almost like it's smoking. It has 6 stars.
How close am I to it?
You're probably maybe 10 feet away, 8 feet away. You can certainly move if you like.
Yeah, I'm gonna just, while we're all looking very thoughtful, Vesper is going to just kind of look over and go over and set a hand on that one.
The moon is new on this column. 6 stars. Mother Willow sees this and Exie. That your name was Exie. They stood against Narasine when the ritual was complete.
She'll let her forehead fall against the stone.
You can feel that force in the stone.
Can I take it?
You can attempt to.
I would like to attempt to.
Okay. This hasn't happened in a bit, so I have to pull the rules back up. I know you make a check, though. Let's see. So it is an action, and just so it's clear, this is you're clearly attempting something. There's no real subtle way to do this.
Okay.
You can try, but it would be difficult.
Before I try then, I will think through the dagger to Felix, to think to the others. Should we tell her? Would it help her to know? Or would it be worse? Ball are the only ones who can answer me.
Mm-hmm. Ellery does not hear anything that Felix relates.
Out of character. My mind is going all sorts of places right now.
I'm like,
you can see in the chat. Because I'm thinking you are being attracted to the sixth one, correct? So in the Lamentations of Carissus, number 6 was one of the silver ones, and they're the ones that repair North Hill every time it is destroyed.
Yes, and we knew that one for Vesper. We knew, well, not the number, but we knew you were silver. So, I mean, Felix has no context for anything that's happening. Yeah. So I'm going to not, I don't have any way to respond to that.
But out of character, I mean, they are the ones that repair. Maybe this is a good show of good faith.
I mean, if you can back it up with convincing her that you're going to follow the path.
Okay.
Or,
someone can.
Yeah, I mean, I can say something along the lines of, we know that we know we contain the souls of the Silver Harbingers, so we have to be the ones to repair it. So, boom.
Okay. If you guys think it's a good idea, I kind of want to set this.
Go for it, girl.
I'm taking it.
Okay. So, having your forehead pressed against the stone, you sense it and try to subtly pull it in, but it's going to take a force of will. So you can make a non-subtle attempt to draw this power in, making a ability check of your choice, no proficiency. You can use whichever one you want to channel and pull this energy into you.
Gotta be a
Okay. Roll a d20 plus your wisdom modifier.
Oh, don't fuck me.
Before you...
Okay.
Don't tell me anything. Can I give you... DM, can I give her a portent?
You have not heard the outcome of the roll. You can if you'd like to.
Okay, I would like to give her a natural 16.
Fantastic, that's a dirty 20.
You feel the presence there. You begin to draw it in, your hand upon the stone. It grows cold.
And I focus on my grief for Ezekiel that we just felt. And that wound that was healing, and I let it open again and pull into the grief.
And through that pain, that wound of loss, you feel a force coming in, and the rest of you can see, including Vesper, a dark shadow form outlining the stars, 6 of them. The energy pulls around Vesper's hand before thrusting into her, the energy fading. And you gain 3 points of ethos, up to your max of your proficiency bonus.
Felix is just going to think to Ball. Okay, now that you've made a decision, should I be coming out? I'm nervous.
I don't know if Ball knows if you're supposed to come out or not. Maybe Ball will kind of look to... is it only... Amson can hear this as well, right? Or is it just Ball?
He starts with Ball. If there's too much of a pause, he will then ask Amson.
All right, so maybe as Amson hears you in his ear, Ball's kind of looking towards Amson, trying to get his attention so he can tell him or ask him. So almost, I don't know, maybe it looks like Ball's telling him in a way.
Amson will look over at Ball.
Amson, should I come out there?
And Amson will, kind of subtly, but not super subtly, just nod as he's looking at Ball. Yeah. Probably for the best.
He will set down whatever he is doing with the ring, sigh, take a sip from his glass of wine, and make his way out of the orb, which he would have given to Ball, probably.
Just in time to see Vesper absorb some death energy.
Exactly. So you come out just as the last bit of dark energy is thrust into Vesper. As she kind of takes a step back, kind of stumbling with the force, eyes wet from the grief it took to draw it in. Mother Willow is muttering under her breath, Druidic. Exie.
I'm gonna cast tongues on myself.
You hear her in Druidic. Exie. Is that you?
I nod.
Have you returned to restore the Angus?
I've returned to do what I have to do.
Make a deception check.
Shit! 18. Natural 19.
Okay.
I'm not really lying. I am born.
Deception isn't always about technicalities. We need you all now, more than ever. This grove can support you. A awakened talking squirrel yells nearby, playing soccer or some dumb fantasy ball.
Damn it, Stormbringer.
What can I do to aid you?
Keep safe the people here. Protect those who come to you, those who have come before. Whatever you can to ease any suffering that happens in these last few days, no matter what comes next. Just ease the suffering.
And what of Ania? What about them?
That's for her to decide, isn't it? We spoke to Black Star. One of her ravens has been accompanying us, though we recently went where it could not follow. And Narasine we haven't yet spoken with. I don't think she'd be open to negotiations.
I think not. Have you met any others? Tessera, Epta, Octo?
Yes, but I don't know which. Ezekiel was one. Before he fell.
Which?
I don't know. It took a while for this ethos to be awoken. He was lost to us before it was.
Did he speak to you, his name?
I don't think he did. Out of character.
No,
Can't imagine
he died way before we knew anything about this shit.
Yeah, I just shake my head. I don't think he knew yet. Took us a very long time to know.
Do you remember?
Vesper will go quiet and think. And do I?
You don't.
I'll shake my head. I died in this life. I don't think we're meant to remember those places between.
And what of the gate, Exie?
I hate to interrupt, but we have a little bit of an issue, and Amson will hold out his the back of his now glowing red hand.
You see as Amson holds his hand up, there's a slight red glow almost an imprint of where another hand shook his.
Okay. What did that mean? What were we supposed to do something?
I think he was going to try to contact us somehow. I don't remember. I honestly don't.
Should we cast Send In? What? I'll run past Mother Willow back to Amson.
Perhaps, I don't know. It's just getting brighter.
Amson, why don't you get in the sphere? I think that might be a safer place to have any kind of conversation.
As this is happening, I would like to take the opportunity to similarly see if I can feel which of the stones I'm connected to.
Ellery, you start to feel dizzy. Vision blurring somewhat. You find yourself taking steps, but it feels like you're stumbling. You look at the stones, your vision blurring, they all blur together, and you feel something. And your vision tunnels, black, leaving just a pinpoint of vision. You feel cold and dissociated, separated. You can feel, though, your body stiffen. Shoulders unslump, stand up straight. Facial expression changing on Ellery, the rest of you see. You see her singular eye begin to shift in color, darken before turning red. You see in from her eyes spreading like a wildfire darkness that envelops her. A flesh of void, a smattering of stars. It's like looking into space, not like a texture that is there, but gazing into the void. Crimson stars dot her form. You see small protrusions on her elbows and shoulders. A small crown around her head forms as she forms a circle with some of her fingers and a shape with the others and holds her hand out to the side. And a saber of red light forms in her hands as she begins to slash at the one closest to her. Everyone roll initiative.
What is going on?
That's a 6. Hey, fitting. Okay.
Am I rolling initiative too? I have no idea what's happening.
Please roll initiative.
Damn, I rolled good.
Okay.
I rolled in that one. So that's 4.
Good.
Like the first time Ellery has ever rolled low initiative.
I imagine she's a little shocked.
This is the time for you to roll terrible initiative.
Everything happens so much all the time.
I'm regretting my choices.
That was not how I expected that gamble to go.
Not at all.
Okay.
See, I was planning to just try and feel which one I was connected to and just look at it to see how many stars it had, but not approach it until I could figure out whether it was silver or crimson.
I'm really sorry for doubting you now, Ball. I'm gonna take down my conspiracy board.
Ellery is a car, and she is no longer the driver.
So is she the one? Because that sounds like
that sounds very yeah.
I didn't hear any stars. I heard crown.
I'm yeah.
So as this all occurs, unless you have something that prevents you from being surprised, I presume you're surprised.
Yes, I do.
Felix is not surprised.
Neither is Vesper.
Okay, so Felix, you are seeing this all happen. Everyone's mouths opening, taking a step back, trying to take this all in and figure out what's happening as you see the crown form on this Harbinger's form of stars, and two jagged horns come up above her head, meeting in the center. And as they touch, let me get this right. I don't want to mess it up. Jesus Christ.
I was so not prepared for this to happen tonight.
Three crimson stars form underneath the arch of the horns, between rotating each other in a pattern. Felix, you're up first.
Okay. This is the same day, and Felix is just gonna run towards her. And you know what? Fuck it. We'll just do the thing now. As he's running up, all right, Nor, let's see how this works. And his third eye will glow really brilliantly, and you'll see Aeon's head appear around his, and then sort of like a growing crystal armor will grow down his body as he's running up. And then he is going to get close and information overload Ella Harbinger. So if that's Ellery, she makes an intelligence saving throw.
Sorry to grab dice. I did not think I'd need them.
Yeah, this is certainly not how I expected this session to go.
Me neither. So is that an intelligence save, Felix?
Yes.
Am I rolling that, or are you?
If you...
My sheet on Roll20 is not entirely up to date.
Yeah, the stat block is completely different. That is a 13.
That will fail, so I'm going to go ahead and put a third level smite into that. So that is plus 4, 7d. Oh, no, that's not how you roll this. Roll. God damn it. 35 psychic damage. And the next attack against her has advantage.
In this form, the intelligence pulse comes out, and then you see the form shake somewhat. You see it cracks. Some red lights connect between these stars, kind of cracking this form, but it still remains. Amson, are you surprised?
I am definitely surprised.
Ball, are you surprised?
I am definitely surprised.
Okay. Mother Willow is surprised. Vesper, do you have your hood up?
It doesn't matter. As long as I'm wearing it, I'm not surprised.
Nice. Okay.
Before Vesper goes, about those 35 points, does that go towards me as I am, or is that totally separate?
Don't count it yet.
Okay.
Great. I'm gonna reach into my bag and grab the rest of that diamond dust that I used on Felix. And I don't know if this is gonna fucking work, but I'm gonna try and cast Greater Restoration on Harbury.
Let's take a look, shall we? What does this look like as you cast the spell?
Not to go all, I'm basically doing like the pocket sand move, but I'm kind of grabbing the handful of diamond dust and I'm hoping it's enough, and I am reaching out and I am just like, actually, this is still my friend. This is still Ellery. This is still my first attempt. I'm going to, take the scoop and I'm going to reach out and just like take her face in my hands as they're covered in dust, and my eyes start to glow the silver that they always do, but maybe a little bit more silver than usual as I just look her in her eye and go, I know you're there.
Ellery, through that pinpoint of your vision, everything else is blurred and tunneled, and you can't really feel your body, but it's moving. You have proprioception of its movements, but no control over it. The words are muffled. You can't. It's hard to make them out, but you can see Vesper taking your hand, and you feel the desire to connect with that. But something shoves it down. The crimson eyes of this Harbinger's form glow bright. These stars on its form begin to swirl and move and shift and streak across like comets. Good.
If it doesn't work and I can tell it's not working, with my bonus action, I'm going to cast a spiritual weapon right behind her.
Okay. Yeah, you can sense the.
That's not a cantrip.
Yeah, 2 spells.
Oh fuck, you're right. Never mind.
Okay. The eyes glow. The crimson stars begin to streak like comets and shooting stars. I need everyone to make a wisdom save. This is against fear, if anything can help against that.
So, DM...
Haha! Helm of fear and swimming!
Oh!
So, DM, we leveled up, but we haven't rested, so I don't get my wisdom resilient feat, correct?
Correct.
Damn it. That's a 0. Okay, so... Alright, I am going to use my 1 per session inspiration on this, Dan. Okay.
I rolled with advantage and got a 5 and a 6, so that's an 8.
I also got a 5, so that's a 14.
I got a 16.
It's a 10 for all.
16 plus 0 for 16.
And does Ellery need to roll for this too?
You don't need to.
You know what? As my last non-fear thing, I will spend my last flash of genius on Ball to give him +5. Maybe you'll pass.
Paul, what does that bring your total to?
Total of 15.
Okay. And let's see how Mother Willow does. Those squirrels are really having a competitive sport, Paul. They're playing with the acorns. It's basically soccer in the trees. Wow. Jeez. Okay. So everyone is frightened. You can't move towards this creature. You have disadvantage on attacks and all the other effects of fear while you are within the presence of this creature. And it will strike out towards... Does anyone in particular look rough?
I'm right in front of her and I don't look very good. I'm about bloodied.
Okay. That is a dirty 20 to hit. Okay. If that hits, the other 2 hit. Dealing 66 points of slashing damage.
Fuck, I'm out.
And a wealth of radiant damage.
How much?
They would be separate hits. You're not.
Yeah, they would be separate.
Thank
Yeah.
God. Okay. Yeah.
How long to get you down now? Because she'll keep hitting.
I'm at 57 hit points.
Okay.
Before she attacks me.
So the first 2 hits knock you out. The third hit, as you're falling to the ground, drives into you, and you take I believe within 5 feet. That is a crit, 2 death save or 2 deaths fails.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And
Thank you.
that will bring us up to Felix.
Okay, well, fuck that. Felix will, as a bonus action, cast Sanctuary on Vesper. So at least she can't keep stabbing her, hopefully. And then he is just going to do Information Overload again at the Red Devil. So, Intelligence saving throw.
Not good.
Okay. I will just do a first level spot this time, so that's only It's still easy to roll here. 5d8 plus 5. 27 psychic damage.
You can see the form is beginning to crack. It is clinging on, but cannot take that much more. But you see it's still bearing down on Vesper, lifting the crimson saber over its head to strike again.
That's my turn.
That will bring us up to Amson. You are frightened.
All right. So can I rotate around without getting closer, so that Vesper is directly between me and the Crimson Harbinger?
You should be able to do that. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to
rotating, between the columns, lining up in that manner.
And how far away am I from the Crimson Harbinger?
Maybe 30 feet. Perfect. Max. Perfect. Maybe closer.
Perfect. All right. So with my 7th level spell slot, I'm going to cast Healing Word on Vesper for a bajillion d4s. That is 5, 10, 15, 19, 23 points of healing. And with my action, I am going to cast Gust on the Crimson Harbinger, so it needs to make a strength save.
That is a 13.
It fails, so the Crimson Harbinger is pushed 5 feet away from me, which means she is pushed 5 feet away from Vesper.
Okay. As Vesper breathes in, seeing wind rush over her, tossing her hair about as the Harbinger is pushed back 5 feet from Vesper.
And that's my move, bonus action. That's my turn.
Brings us to Ball.
Is this fear save happen? Is there even a fear save? And if so, does it happen at the start?
It doesn't happen at the start.
Okay. So Ball will just look at the Harbinger and is going to burn sorcery points. I'll tell you what it's called. Actually, before I do, I will bonus action Mantle of Flame. And then I will burn 3 sorcery points to use Heightened Spell. And then with my action, I'm going to cast Immolation on it. And Heightened Spell means that it rolls at disadvantage.
And what kind of save is that?
It is a Dexterity saving throw.
That is a 17.
With disadvantage, right?
With disadvantage.
Then it just makes it. So it will be half damage. 20 fire damage.
Bursting into a mantle of flames beginning to swirl around, you call fire, trying to emulate the creature, but it's fast and darts quickly, sidestepping as best it can, still taking some burning. As you see the cracks in this form are beginning to shake. You see it is clinging on. You can see parts of Ellery kind of moving out of this shadowed form, but it still remains.
And then with my movement, I would just like to kind of spread out, look for somewhere. I don't know how exactly we are spread out right now, but Ball just tries to. I can't move closer to it, so just circling around so we're a bit more spread out. And then that's all I can do, so that'll be the end of my turn.
Okay, and that will bring us up to Mother Willow. Who takes her staff, reaches her hand out. This vines begin to grow up from the ground, reaching towards the creature, grasping at its legs and pulling it down. The vines continue to grow around, restraining the creature as it tries to break free, but can't quite. And that will bring us up to Vesper. You are on the ground about 5 feet away from this creature.
I'm going to roll to my knees and look up at it and just go, let her go. And the go turns into this gong sound, and I'm casting Toll the Dead. So it needs to make a wisdom save.
Okay. And just as a reminder, there are things you can do with your ethos.
I know.
Okay. That is a 28.
Fuck. I get to my feet. And I move 15 feet back. Kind of I don't want to be in a straight line with Amson. I want to kind of move aside.
Can you spiritual weapon as a bonus action?
I sure can, and I'm going to do that next. I just want to get out of there first. But then, yes, I create my spiritual weapon behind it. And thing is, I have to spend 2 points on a spell attack for my ethos. And I don't know that I only have 4. I don't know if I want to spend 2 of them yet. So I'm just going to make the standard attack roll for this one.
Okay.
Let me choose my level. I'm going to cast this at 4th level.
Okay.
While I'm picking on myself. I was so not prepared for this.
You are afraid. So that is at disadvantage, though it is restrained. So it's just a straight roll. Your hand is trembling, but the vines are restricting its movement.
19.
Just hits.
Which is 13 force damage.
How do you do this?
As the kind of gong sound is ringing out and that dark mist is trying to take hold of the whatever cracks and wounds are there, it's pulling uselessly at it, and it comes up, and as it comes up, it curls into that bow. And maybe again I meet the Harbinger's eye, and as it looks smug or whatever it's doing and makes eye contact, the bolt hits it right in the back of the head. And just shatters.
The cracks, the crimson lines connecting like constellations on the flesh, break open, not unlike the cracking sky above you in the night. The void thunders away, fading immediately in a burning red light, revealing Ellery underneath, still tangled somewhat in the vines, kind of drops down, taking an overflow of 6 damage as the Harbinger is pushed away.
I think Ellery is just kind of being tangled in these vines, suddenly able to see again more clearly. Just curling her fists as tightly as she can. You are not who I am. Vesper?
Ellery, as you yell that out, there is a crack in the sky. As you hear rain begin to fall.
I'll take a step towards her, and then another, and then run over to her.
Are you okay?
I'll be fine. How are you? What happened?
I don't know. I think I kind of start pushing at the vines. Kind of taking stock. I think I'm in control again.
Do you think it's gone? Or just waiting again?
I don't know, but my hand's not glowing anymore.
Felix will turn to Mother Willow. You can put her down now.
We will have to discuss this. The Crimson Harbinger in this grove. Sky cracking above. I will be cautious.
But you will let her go.
After a discussion is had, you see the vines that were kind of wrapped around Ellery's neck loosen a little bit, but still remain around her legs. We will come to an agreement in this circle, one way or another.
Felix will crack his neck as the aeonic form fades. Fine. And I will think to the three that have items. I will kill her if she holds us up too long.
That would be a poor decision.
Yes, so let's make sure she doesn't try and hold us up.
Amson will reply back, I don't believe that would be necessary.
She's pious. They make stupid decisions.
I flip him off.
That was only to Amson.
Oh, fine.
Mother Willow walks over to you, Vesper, and puts her hand on your shoulder. You regain 18 hit points.
How does Vesper look at this point?
She looks 23 plus 18 hit points. 41 out of 98.
I'm gonna... Well, I can't do cure... Wait, are you right next to me?
Yeah, I'm still kneeling by you.
Then, if I can touch you, if the vines will let me, I'm gonna throw in a 4th level cure wounds.
Guy.
Which is 20.
3 individuals run through the fog as it separates for them before closing once more. You recognize Dane and 2 wardens. What else? It's all right. It's figuring it out. The wardens kind of unnotch their bows. Dane lowers the stake he had as they kind of gather around the circle, around Ellery, semi-restrained by vines. Is this why you said the things you did?
Is she directing that specifically at me?
Kind of at all of you, based on the previous conversation before things took this turn. Why it wasn't clear in the beginning what side you were on.
I mean, yeah, we have a lot of things to figure out, as you can clearly see.
I want to make it very clear that I am not on the side of that thing.
Some past life of you was.
And whoever that version of me was, that is not who I am now. It's not. That's not who I want to be.
She sided with Narcine, with Ania.
Didn't you yourself say that fate was changeable? Isn't the fate of a soul changeable?
We all carve our own paths, yes.
You speak as if you knew them personally.
The Moonlit Groves are... We are the remnants of the Star Groves. The ones left behind, their rituals. In some ways, yes, we carry their memories. We watch for the warning signs.
And yet, by my count, 5 Harbingers, 6, 7 walked through this grove, and you had no idea?
I am not all-knowing. I'm just a druid. I'm just a keeper of this grove. I wish I had noticed. I notice now.
And what do you plan on doing?
Perhaps it is not you. And she looks at Hillary. But you are competing with your previous life. And the life before that. And the life before that. Who want to bring the gate down and bring destruction upon the Snore. This cannot be allowed. This cannot occur. There are no good ways to do this.
That's what we've been finding so far. There's no clear right answer. What I do know is that I will fight back against this. What did you say her name was?
Tribus. It's Druidic. It isn't quite her name, but the only name we know of her. Or him. Whoever they were.
Well, whoever they were, whatever they are now, I will fight to keep her or them out of my head.
How?
Felix?
I'm working on a prison. A ring that should bind whatever active soul. It's not done yet, but now that I know that she is active and at risk, we can take care of it.
And will it work?
If Felix is the one putting it together, yes.
She looks to you, Felix. Locks eyes.
I make few mistakes, and the ones I do make I learn from.
Make a persuasion check.
19, so 18.
I see. If it doesn't work, we'll have to try something else.
And wherever we are at that moment, we will.
The vines pull back and go back into the Nor, into the earth, releasing Hillary.
I kind of roll my shoulders, shake out my arms a bit. I never fucking want that to happen again.
I hope it doesn't. The rain is cold. It's not a heavy rain, but a persistent one. You may leave this grove unhindered. And if this is controlled, you can return when it is controlled. And if you can't control it, reach out to us. And we'll try something else.
What do you have in mind?
Not a solution you'll be keen on, I'm afraid.
Well, if it comes to it, and this can't be controlled.
Trust me, I'll kill her long before we have to bring her back here. Okay?
Thank you, Felix. That is exactly what I had in mind.
She looks towards each of you, and to you, Vesper and Hillary, Ball, Amson, Felix. We can guide you out of here.
I hate to ask for anything at all after that. We need to get back to God's rest. That's part of why we came here after our travels.
She puts her head on her forehead and rubs her temples. Fine. Let's get you out of here. She begins to lead you out, the fog opening up as she walks, revealing an archway for you to walk out of this circle, central circle, and to a large tree, an oak.
The fog closes. I just want to look at Exie's pillar one more time, and then follow.
As she walks towards a large oak tree with a bearded face and a green sash, and with a glowing ember stone embedded in it. There are squirrels running around, playing with acorns, throwing them at each other in a very not quite squirrel way, almost human-like, more aware, cognizant. Their squirrel chatter mimics the rhythm and pattern of conversation. There's a few young children that play, running around this way and that. A young girl that falls over, wrestling with a squirrel. As Mother Willow moves up to the tree, the wardens follow with Dane, getting between you all and the children, a few young children, as Mother Willow puts her hands on the tree and bows her head. You can hear the peeling back of the bark that opens up like a scar. You can see inside vines and flowers and bushes and leaves, thick underbrush, as if the interior of a forest. Go.
Thank you for everything, Mother Willow.
She nods.
I hope the next time we're here it's under better circumstances.
I hope so too. Farewell. As you push through, pushing past the vines and the underbrush and the leaves, you stumble out on the other side, out of the rain, and into the cold snow of a clearing, stepping over the large roots of the vivis tree. Branches wide above you, as you see other wardens and druids on this side, stepping up at your sudden appearance in the plateau of Nymanet, the ascended plateau. Behind you hear the as the tree shuts.
Well?
Amson just rubs his face.
You guys really take me to wonderful places. You've got a lot of great friends.
Yeah, my previous visits were a lot more pleasant than that one.
Said the same thing about your hometown. Let's go find Amethystis.
At least we learned something.
It'll be fine, Avery.
Nothing's fine, but thank you anyway.
I said it will be.
Let's go. And just keep an eye on me, I guess.
I'll keep 3.
I think I am going to... I'm going to cast polymorph on myself. And kind of remembering the way that Ezekiel turned into a fox when he first returned to Mother Willow, and the tattoo that I have, I'm going to polymorph into a fox.
The snow is light and cool under your feet, but you don't sink into it. And as you lightly move through it towards the city, where are you guys going?
I want to lay in a bed.
Yeah.
Back to the room that we rented for 2 weeks.
Okay. All right. As you guys begin to move through the forest, As you do so and begin to come into sight of the walls, surrounding the city, there's a lot of empty space where trees have been cleared between the tree line and the city itself. This is where the army is camped out, or where it was. It seems like most of it has moved either onto the walls or into the city itself. There's a few campfires, a few tents remaining, but most of it has moved inside the city. As you move, you see a number of bodies. Some human, some not. Some wearing the wolf cloaks of Warchild's army, of Wolfrath, of Western. You see dead horses, some semi-fresh, others skeletal. You see a griffin with a large, it's like a bone impaling it. Claw marks, massive and long. You see the eyes of some of these dead burn out, black, smoldering, as you come to the city. You can see the outer walls are cracked, gate destroyed. You still see the vanguards on the ramparts. You see where they've tried to make out of sharpened wood some sort of barricade where the gate once stood. As you walk through a battlefield, there are numerous dead.
How fresh? I want to go to the nearest human body.
Make a medicine check.
29. I want the second.
With a 29 investigating a human, you see a large slash mark across their chest. They're wearing heavy armor, and whatever did this cut through it like it was paper. The marks are long and jagged, hooked and scrawled, and underneath the armor that was torn through, the wound is like rotted. You can tell some of the other flesh is healthy isn't the right word, but not like this. This wound appears as though it's a wound that's been decaying for months, and yet the rest of the flesh doesn't reflect that. The rest of the body that isn't wounded, those parts that are intact, looks like it died within the last day. But those heavy wounds are ghastly. You see large puncture marks on another body. Large diameter of maybe half a foot in places. Others you see no claws or marks or punctures, but just the eyes burnt out. From what you can tell, most of this happened in the last 24 hours. And also, it's not just, there's humans, there's elves, horses, griffins, but also undead. Full skeletons, full skeletal horses, smattering about on this battlefield.
Is there any way to get a sense of who was fighting who, specifically Wolfrath? Do I get any sense if they were fighting the undead or not?
Give me a investigation check.
Okay.
It is a messy battlefield. It's going to be difficult to tell.
21 investigation.
The battlefield's messy. It's hard to say. The red soaked into the snow in places, but you do notice a pattern of weaponry, of arrows, simple bone mold that are struck into some of the wolves and some of the Wolfrath bannered army, and some of their spears and javelins struck into some of the undead or felled dead beneath or around the corpses of undead. It seems like they were likely fighting each other.
Vesper, can you get in touch with Amethystis?
Yes. Do I ask?
Where is she? Where can we go? How can we help?
And I think as we're doing this, we've reached probably the Griffin and Vespers. I don't know. Petting the feathers and just sort of taking that in. And I will cast Sending to Amethystis. We're back. Outside the walls. Where are you? Are you okay? And can we help? What happened?
Hex came. We've held him off for now. A small contingency of undead, but scouts report more. Get to the city. I'm at the precipice. I've learned some. He's coming for the opal. How fast can you get here?
Shit. Cast it again. Unless she sends.
She'll send it as well. She'll send one.
Soon. And I'll start moving as I'm talking. Loud. We're just outside the walls. We'll be inside the gate, and we can be there in an hour or so.
Hex is a beast of night and shadows. He will come after the sun falls again. The city is preparing for a siege. I've been bitten.
I can help.
Come here, and we'll do what we can.
It won't be long. And Vesper will take off running for the gate and fill everyone in as we run.
Yeah, I'm dropping polymorph as all this is a lot.
If we need to get there fast, you can jump in the orb. I can cast Expeditious Retreat on myself and fly like super, super fast with the staff.
No, just as long as they don't try and kill you going through the gate,
Yes,
but I
let's
think
go
that's
through the
great.
gate first, and then...
Okay.
And then,
Yeah.
What are y'all doing? I heard multiple things. You're running towards the gate. What do you do?
We're going to run to the gate and then fly to the precipice.
After we're inside.
Yeah. So that they know us.
Okay. So as you begin to run towards the gate, past the bodies of both human and undead of this battle, you see the vanguards and the guards on the ramparts begin to notice you and turn their attention towards you. Some begin to call out as they can see you're not undead. And as you come into the city and rush through the gates, destroyed as they are, and see what's left of the Wolfrath army, that is where we'll pick up next week.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Back to the Story. If you liked what you heard, give us a subscription. We're available on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and more. If you'd like to contact us, you can tweet us at back_to_the_story. And if you can't fit it into 280 characters, you can always email us at thebonfirefables@gmail.com. For behind-the-scenes sneak peeks, memes, updates, and more, follow us on either Twitter or on our Tumblr, back-to-the-story.tumblr.com. Lastly, if you're in a generous mood, feel free to buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/backtothestory. We'll see you next time in Northville.